This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for August 31st, 2024. And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. The DNC touts rich people. Some things are just so ironic that they defy all reason. I think the most hilarious thing is rich people saying that we need to be scared of rich people. It is like a police officer warning people that the police should never be trusted. Again, it is so ironic that it defies all reason. People at the DNC like Michelle Obama and Oprah attack capitalism while claiming that they face ever-present discrimination. It is just so ironic to me that it is laughable. The former lives in a beach house in Martha's Vineyard but is still not scared of the rising tides from imaginary global warming, whereas the latter is one of the single most recognized faces in modern media. To add insult to injury, this is the party that has all of Hollywood, most of the major corporations, not to mention just about every media outlet on their side. They are the party of millionaires and billionaires. All of these people could just pay more in taxes and not cash the refund checks. Or they could build low-income housing. Now these people are free to do with their own money whatever they choose. My problem is that these are the same people who think that it is wrong that you do whatever you choose to do with your money. Speaking of super wealthy people that can do whatever they want, Cackling Kamala's name. The DNC had a lot of notable speakers, even if the only reason that they got people to tune in was by making false promises about a musical guest. And the tears of disappointment when Beyonce did not perform made my mug overflow. Moving on, conservatives have been attacked for mispronouncing the name of Cackling Kamala. As it should be obvious by this point, Luke Paulson is an alias. I am very upfront about that if you read the bio on my channel. Now the reason that I say that is that my real name is a little hard to pronounce. When someone mispronounces it, I just move on with my life. When someone intentionally mispronounces it, I just move on with my life. That is because I am not some triggered little snowflake who spends all of his time looking for things to be offended by. Now even Brandon has had trouble with her name.
I told him I wanted to be the last person in the room before he made important decisions. That's what I asked Kamala.
But he is a bumbling buffoon who stumbles over all of his words. But Bill Clinton?
We need Kamala Harris, the president of joy.
And Reverend Al Sharpton also had difficulty.
Kamala Harris spoke to me that day about unity.
Even this celebrity that I did not recognize at first and do not care about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president.
Now, everyone makes mistakes. As soon as Tucker Carlson accidentally mispronounced her name, he was attacked. These people did not get the same treatment, because apparently they cannot be racist because they are Democrats. Now, I do not have a problem with Democrats as a whole. I just have a problem with modern Democrats. RFK's name. If John F. Kennedy was running today, he would have to run as a Republican. Everyone knows that he was the last classic Democrat. They are now something completely antithetical to their founding. This is why RFK Jr. publicly endorsed President Trump. His family has distanced themselves from him as if he endorsed a monster. And the media is frantic as they cannot understand why he would do that. If the Democrats had let him, as well as Newsom, run in a primary against Cackling Kamala, RFK would have lost in a landslide. However, he would have likely stood by the party. RFK has been calling out the medical-industrial complex by pointing out certain facts. My channel got a strike just for repeating the things that he said. He also called out Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is here to remind you to never question the official narrative. In truth, he is a threat to the deep state. And after being attacked by them, they cannot imagine why he would go to the other side. Although they do have plenty of money thanks to Act Blue. Increase in Act Blue ads. I am sure that you have been seeing an increasingly large number of ads from Democrats on YouTube lately. That is not surprising because it is owned by liberals who like the suppression of speech. Moving on, if you actually looked closely at the ads, they are listing Act Blue a lot more lately. Could this in any way be related to the attorneys general who are investigating the organization because of OMG?
Only Poppins would know.
The fact remains that they will probably never be prosecuted in any way. But I refuse to give up hope.
Just cheer up and never ever give up. Hope, 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 hope. Yeah.
In many ways, knowledge is power, and now we know what the Democrats have to do to win. Officially, Act Blue says that this is a conspiracy, even though they refused to talk to James O'Keefe when he went to the DNC. However, having money is one thing, but your opponent not being able to speak is another. For this reason, I take you to France. France targets free speech. Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram, was arrested. According to President Macron, this was in no way politically motivated. And if you believe someone like him,
I got some property in Arizona. From my front porch you can see the sea.
Telegram and Twitter are two of the biggest companies that do not censor news at the behest of the Uniparty or the deep state. As such, this is no accident. We already know that the British police are arresting people for posting about rioting foreigners, instead of letting those officers go after the foreigners who are targeting women. These gangs are all over Europe. And I am just going to take a guess in the dark that France and Macron are upset that Durov allows this free speech. Officially, the platform was not adequately protecting minors from predators. Apparently, the French government has never been on TikTok with all of the groomers over there. The judge had 96 hours or 4 days to officially charge Durov or let him go. This was not about protecting minors, otherwise France would be going after TikTok. This was politically motivated. Besides, they could not go after TikTok. That would be going against the Chinese Communist Party. And you never target your heroes. Speaking of exploitation of children, there's the grooming of children to be trans. J.K. Rowling comes out swinging. The Olympian boxer who beat up women to cheers decided to sue J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk. For reasons. This put the former off of Twitter for some time. Now Rowling has demanded a genetic test. Naturally, liberals are attacking her because of this demand. Rowling was doing just fine defending biological facts that liberals do not like. Then one of them took legal action. It is not Rowling's fault that she was sued. However, when the woke mobs attack, you can either run or fight. If you run, they will still attack you. So if you do not fight.
Because the only other option is to lie down and die.
Some things are worth fighting for. Things like equal rights for all melanin concentrations is one such fight. Minorities for segregation. Segregation is illegal, and rightly so. Yet we still have liberals who want black-only dorms for the snowflakes, and black-only graduations for the same snowflakes. Now there is a push to have black-only classrooms. I should not be surprised, and yet I am. Officially, white teachers will not teach black students the real history of their people. If I said that I do not trust a black teacher to tell my nieces and nephews the real history of their people, I would be racist. How did we go this far backward this quickly? If you truly believe that people should be judged based on the content of their melanin, you are an enemy of everything that America stands for. If Tampon Tim was still teaching, I wonder if he would endorse this policy. Speaking of his educational career, end of a teaching career. Tampon Tim was once trusted to teach students. During his tenure in Minnesota, he was arrested for having a BAC of .128. This was over the legal limit of .1. Walls was also going 95 in a 55-mile-per-hour zone. Now this is his personal life. And everyone makes mistakes. We need to focus on the mistakes that he made in office rather than things like this. If he was transporting children or was in any way on the job, it would be different. In fact, at least 800,000 drivers alive today would have had a DUI at some point. We need to discuss his hotline for people leaving their houses, his ignorance of anatomy, and his support for Cackling Kamala. These are the issues that matter. Speaking of Cackling Kamala, the wall of Cackling Kamala. It has been reported that Cackling Kamala wants a wall. In her new ads for her campaign, she features the wall of President Trump quite prominently. Axios is also reporting that she wants the wall. The materials are already purchased, and so she can start right away. She, of course, will not do anything in regard to wall construction. because that would lead to legitimizing President Trump's idea. Then again, she has stolen several of his ideas lately. She learned how to steal ideas from watching her boss. Moving on, even though she can start on the wall today, she will not. And if she is ever in the Oval Office, she will implement her own policies to open the border even more. Countless illegals and terrorists would continue to cross the border uninhibited. Speaking of helping the terrorists, a transfer to the Taliban. The Taliban, after getting rich from selling off all of the equipment left behind during the disastrous pullout from Afghanistan, decided that they needed even more of our money. They set up multiple charities to get the money. And it turns out that our government wrote a check to the Taliban for a grand total of $239 million. Theoretically, if we unconstitutionally divided that equally amongst every homeless person that is actually seeking help, an individual could be housed and fed for 8.2 months. And a family of 3 could be housed and fed for 14.9 months. Instead of the many practical uses, this will be used for weapons against the US military or Israel. Why would they get this money at all? Our government does not vet the people that they give money to. This is the problem with government giving vast sums of money. Things go wrong. Now, the whole debacle was brought about because of Brandon. Speaking of whom, Brandon skips the memorial. The pullout from Afghanistan was an unmitigated disaster with no one being held accountable. Brandon and Cackling Kamala issued a press statement rather than going to the memorial. Although, to be fair, Brandon probably would have just been checking his watch the whole time. However, someone who was there was President Trump. He was there because he rebuilt our military and stands by our troops. When he went to visit the troops, they asked him to sign their MAGA hats. He has the support of these people, and rightly so. They are protecting us from our enemies around the world. And America has a lot of enemies around the world. And the worst part is that they are already here. Venezuelan gangs in America. It was libs of TikTok that broke this story. Tren de Aragua is one of the most dangerous gangs that we are dealing with. They took over an apartment building and have been killing police officers in multiple states. Now we have known about this gang for some time, but an insider leaked documents to libs of TikTok. The internal memo warns officers to wear their body armor at all times. Furthermore, we also know that these same people have been released, and Venezuela is not accepting them back. This means that they are released into America because they cannot be deported back to their own country. President Trump tried to build a wall to keep them out, but he was stopped at every turn. Even if Cackling Kamala says that she will build the wall, she will not, and more will come in. We are not just dealing with a few rogue agents or lone wolves. We are dealing with a complex international organization. If these people are willing to kill officers at traffic stops, they will not hesitate to take out you or me. However, even if President Trump does win, that will not be enough. We need the protection of Christ Jesus. If we turn to him, his protection will be upon us. However, Jesus is a gentleman, and if you do not want him in your life, he will oblige. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. But before you go, on the left I have last week's video, but you may also enjoy the video on the right.